Hello, welcome in, folks. Welcome to week 6 of the Sea Live podcast. Come on in. You're very much welcome. My name's Sam. Chris, you here as always? How are you doing, mate?
I'm here. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. It's been busy. It's been one of them weeks. We've had some news that affected the family, but we're powering through it and we're doing what we need to do. And it's looking sooner rather than later that we're going to be able to lock down, which is amazing.
It is amazing, but I'm quite sad because I'm quite enjoying myself. No, to be honest with you, what's good. I like all our hair's getting long. We're hiding our bald patches.
Look at these sideys. Look at these sideys, man.
Yeah, it's what's all right. We're hiding our bald patches. Hair's getting longer. I've been wallpapering, so this is a new one on my life this week, which is fab. And yeah, I think it's been a decent week for me. I know there's a few issues going on your end, but we've all been through something in this lockdown so far, and we've just got to keep morale up and keep going. I was just saying before, most people I've spoken to FaceTime stuff. This is the week they've struggled the most.
Absolutely.
For me, and we've got this far. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, we will. And people can look at your Instagram and Facebook ID at Chris Vance, and they can see all your Insta stories and all your Facebook stuff. But do us a favour, folks. Make sure that you follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Facebook, it's Sea Live. On Twitter, it's Sea Live Entita1, and also on Instagram at Sea Live UK. And it really is so important that you go and follow, share, like absolutely everything. It just helps us grow. And of course, if anyone follows our Sea Live page, we'll follow you back. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. But on to our special guest today. She is a singer and vocalist. She's a local girl. We're going to be talking about her performing career. We've got Meg Birch on the show tonight, folks. Say hello, Meg.
Hello.
Hey, man.
So lockdown for you includes what? What's a typical day in the life for Meg Birch during lockdown?
Lots of chocolate.
Love it.
I'm trying to keep busy. I'm trying to do like a bit of songwriting. I'm trying to like use this time to do all the things that I usually wouldn't have time to do. So I'm just trying to be productive, but really, most of the time, I'm just sitting around in my PJs.
To be fair, just by looking at the aesthetic of probably living room or whatever you are, it looks like you're in China, just by the way that the bamboo to the left of you and the sparkling lights. It's unreal. The aesthetic is on point.
Oriental vibes. I've got like a home studio, so this is like the couch area.
Wow.
Oh, fun.
I know, very fancy.
Have you been doing so much singing then? You say you've been doing a bit of singing. Have you been recording any videos, any audio or?
Yeah, so I've been doing a thing over on my Instagram where I've been asking kind of like the followers what covers they want, and then doing like a minute of the song kind of in my own style and like arranging it. So they've been keeping me busy. I do a lot of songwriting, so I've been writing to a lot of briefs with friends of mine who have publishing deals. So that's been like proper work, but obviously don't get paid unless your song gets picked up. So that's been another thing. And yeah, just trying to like practice the things that normally you wouldn't have time to kind of delve in on. So trying to sing as much as I can.
I think that's for most musicians, that's the most important thing. Let's come on to this. We're doing things that we think, I'll do that next week. We never do it. I'll do that next week. And we're all kind of doing these little things that we've put off for so long. And in a way, it's kind of been quite good to do them because they're done then. And then hopefully that can set up for the next 6 to 8 months or something like that when we can get back onto our usual routine. So I think as musicians, yeah, we've all self-employed and we're all struggled at first, but I think we're over that now. I think we're onto the phase of let's do stuff that's when we can.
I mean, it's fantastic that you're writing music. I think we're all in a similar position. Like Chris has just said, we're all writing music. I feel like it's the best time to be, writing music. And I remember you saying, Chris, on a previous podcast that the amount of music that is going to come out because of this period of time where people
Oh,
are stuck
unbelievable.
inside, and that the only thing they can do musically is either write, or like we're doing with this podcast, or doing live shows. There's going to be a whole wave of new music that's going to be coming out in the near future.
I agree. I think that's the most important thing. We're all kind of setting ourselves up now. We're over there. Oh, where's all the work come from and all that. We know it's going to come at some point. It could be the end of the year. It could be early next year. But at least we're all starting to do the groundwork now to push that on. So keep writing. I'm going to make a suggestion then to you, Meg, on your Instagram this week, and
Okay.
I'll hopefully it's a good cover. Yeah. So, Meg, can you tell us a little bit about what you do then? What you're a singer? What's your sort of your genre? What would you say your background is?
Okay. Fundamentally, I'd call myself like a session singer, if you like.
Yeah.
I've tried the whole artist thing, and like that is still a thing.
Oh.
Phone call.
We're back.
I'm
You're
back. Sorry. My mum tried phoning
Come
me.
on, Mum, you should be watching the podcast. What's going on?
I told her I'm on as well. How rude.
You're putting a request in. That's what it is.
Well, she can do it over on Facebook.
You have to like the page first, though. Remember.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully she has. I have told her. No, what I do like day to day. So I'm like a cover artist. So the majority of my time is I work with a company in a studio, and we do like my own takes on covers and like release them on Spotify. So I've got a nice kind of following now on Spotify. I think there's like 50k monthly listeners who like tune in kind of on a regular basis to listen to like the new covers that I've put out. So I do that. I also kind of dabble in the world of like backing vocals and that sort of thing. I teach a little bit, as everyone has to. And my absolute passion is I perform with a band, and we kind of do the corporate kind of stuff as well. But I say my favorite thing because my favorite thing to do within this whole career is just to be on stage. So I love the songwriting. I love kind of all the behind the scenes, kind of working in the studio and that sort of thing. But I flipping love being on stage.
That's the one thing that I said to Sam a couple of days ago. It's the only thing I'm kind of missing most is being on stage.
I miss it so much.
It's unless you do it as a day-to-day thing, you can't really explain what it's like to entertain on stage at a gig or a show, because it's a great buzz. And I think,
oh my word, yeah.
And you can see why these old musicians they carry on as long as they can, because it's such an adrenaline buzz and a sort of rush especially when you're playing a really good crowd. We all play good crowds, we all play bad crowds. Sam, we play mostly good crowds.
We try our best, mate.
When we're playing. But it is that thing that I'm missing the most is the being on stage. I think and I can't wait to get back on it.
Yeah. I was saying, I feel like I've realised a lot of kind of my self-worth comes from my work and comes from getting the praise that you do on stage. And for me, it's been really hard to kind of transition from not having that. I normally gig like twice, if not like in the height of season, like 3 times a week. So like every single week I'm having that like honestly, like a fix. I find it like a fix, like it's like an addiction of like being on stage. Like that's how much I love it. So like at the moment, every time Saturday comes around, I'm like, oh, it's another Saturday. I'm not gigging. This is just rubbish. But it's nice that we can do things like this instead. So
I mean, it's so important. I think I always go back to what I keep saying about this podcast. It's a platform for people to engage with social media and socialize and get people's social media up. Whether it's through C Live, through our own personal accounts, and this is why we did it. We said we need to do something that's different, That's not a
Mm.
a typical, this is my 2 45-minute set and I'm going to sing them, which, by the way, absolutely fine, and I'm enjoying all the people that are doing it. But I think this gives an opportunity to see more of an artist as well, just to find out more about them as a person and where they trained. Actually, that's a good question, which is my next question. Where did you train?
I did. I moved away from here about, would have been 6 years ago now, maybe longer actually. I went and studied at a place called the Academy of Contemporary Music, which has since I've been like massively exploded, and there's like 4 different versions of it across the country now. But I was based in Guildford in Surrey, so like it was really nice for me because it wasn't like London prices, but then we could still gig in London. So yeah, I did a 3-year degree into 2 in commercial music performance, and it kind of came from the standpoint of like contemporary music, which is what I wanted to do. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
So was it a 2-year course, was it, or a 3?
It was 3 into 2.
Wow.
1 less year of fees. It was amazing.
And it's but to cram it in is heavy going, because we've done degrees, Sam, and we know how hard it is to do a 3-year degree in 2 years, cram it all in.
Yeah.
So you got the London experience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was great.
You talk about that drive and that enthusiasm. Has that always been the case, or was it when you got down to London? Obviously, you have a passion for music, that's obvious. But my question is that when you got to London and Guildford, was it kind of like, oh, this is actually quite serious now?
I think it definitely like catapulted it. I have always been driven. Like if you ask any of my like family and friends, this is why I'm struggling with the lockdown, because like I am like a workaholic. I will take as many opportunities and as many things to do as I can. And so I was like, as soon as I finished school, I was like, I'm moving to London. I'm doing it. Like nothing can stop me. And so I did that. And then I think when I got there and then I realized how competitive the market is and like how flipping hard it is and how you've got to like pretty much sell your soul, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to need to give this way more than I'm giving it even now. So I think it did help kind of push me in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah, because London is so busy and it's so manic and there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Did you find it was a massive transition from up this end northwest down to London? Was it hard to adjust to the gigging scene?
Not so much like when you think about London, you think about the busyness and stuff like that. I didn't mind any of that. What's weird about the gig scene is you never see the same people at the same gig, so it's quite difficult and you feel quite alone. And although there's more opportunities there, there's also way more competition, and I find people are a lot more kind of, I don't want to generalize, but I found it a very much kind of more kind of, I don't know what the word is, competitive probably, but not in a nice way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a dog eat dog kind of like, oh, you didn't do very well on that gig, so we're not going to use you now, or we're going to, it's quite cutthroat.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, to be fair, I think the whole industry is cutthroat anyway, but I can imagine it's heightened because you're in such a big place and there's so many people. I can imagine sometimes though when Sam and I gig and you're on with other bands and you're always judging yourself against other bands anyway, because that's what you do. You want to be the best. You want to be stand out, and I can imagine in that scene it's pretty tough.
Absolutely, and especially for like girls, I feel like we also have a responsibility as a female kind of artist or singer. We have to like really try and look good as well, and even that pressure like is horrible because I don't believe like guys have it the same way as we do. So I don't know, and also like the female kind of part of the industry is difficult as well because there are many different avenues you can take and it's what you're willing to do. So like I've been on jobs where they've literally said, if you don't do these sexy moves whilst you're doing this gig. You're off the gig. And it's like, well, what if that's not my thing? Like, I bring a more quirky kind of...
To be fair, Sam says that to me when we're gigging, so it's all right.
Does it?
do.
It's like, do the sexy moves.
You see, during
Look,
quarantine, Chris has
someone's
been practicing, thankfully. You've been practicing, Chris. Haven't you, mate?
Yeah.
See, and this is what I've got to put up with every week. So,
Oh, God, he's got to put up with you.
This is what I mean.
would you like to give us a song?
Absolutely.
So what is it that you're going to be doing for us, then, Meg?
Okay, so one of my passions is I sing a lot of jazz and like old school vintage music. So I love the modern stuff and all that kind of thing, but I have done a lot of work over the last few years kind of in the vintage scene. So I'm going to sing a little bit of Etta James at last.
Fantastic.
I'll just get it ready. Are you ready for me to go?
We're ready when you are.
Ready!
Here we go. Enjoy, everybody. Oh, the skies above, and my heart was wrapped up in the night I looked at you. Well, I found a dream that I speak to, a dream that I call my own. But I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I have never known. Oh, when you smile, oh, when you smile, and then the smell was oh, now here we are. Oh, you are
Hey, well done. Fantastic, well done.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Oh.
And you know what? In lockdown, this is exactly how I am sounding in the shower now.
Is it? Oh, I bet.
Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You can see why your vocals are so unique. You see why you're a unique artist, and you've worked with some of the artists that you have worked with, because your vocal range is just unbelievable. So, congratulations, well done. That was a fantastic song. So, going on to the artists that you've worked with, we do know that Sam and I do know that you've worked with some big names in the industry. I don't know if you'd like to tell any of them or
Yeah.
who have you worked with?
Okay. I've done a gig with Mel C, so that was like fangirl moment for me because I'm a big Spice Girls fan. I worked with her. I did some like backing vocals for Demi Lovato, which was really cool. I've got quite a funny story actually. I was in a 2-day rehearsal. This was about three years ago. I was given a job, and we were set like they told us, listen, this is a really big gig. We can't tell you who the artist is, but you're going to come in for these 2 days of rehearsals. We got there, and the song was Benny and the Jets, and I was like, my word, it's freaking Elton John. So we'd been told we were going to do this performance with Elton John. And I was like, this is going to be amazing for the CV. And like, I can't believe it. We got to the day, and the kind of role I was within the show is we were like a choir that was going to get up from the audience when Elton John came on the stage. So we hadn't rehearsed with him. Obviously, he was not rehearsed. James Corden was at this, it was an award show. James Corden was the presenter. And the finale was obviously meant to be Elton John. The song started, and James Corden started singing the song instead. And I was like, excuse me, sorry, where's Elton John? So we did this finale, and it went really well and everything. But obviously, we were all really kind of like, what is going on? Anyway, apparently, he said that he felt it was a bit too foggy to land his helicopter, and so he like pulled out literally like half an hour before. And I was like. So I almost did a gig with Elton John.
Yeah, but you got James Corden.
But we had James Corden. I mean, he was lovely, but he was no Elton John. I was like, rubbish.
Sam knows my views. I'd be glad if his helicopter not landed.
I was going to say, you probably wanted it the other way around. You probably didn't want James Corden.
But no, but it's things like that are fantastic, aren't they? And but in the moment when you rehearse, you're on the stage, it's just a completely another world, isn't it? And it's just amazing, and the adrenaline's going, and you think you're going to play with a world famous. But even if you didn't do it, you're in the zone of being in that structure. It's fab.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And who else have you worked with? Is anyone else you've worked with that we might know?
I think they're kind of the main ones. I've done like Natasha Bedingfield. She was around quite a few years ago. Kate Nash. But they're probably like the bigger ones that I'm mentioning. And then I always feel like, wouldn't it be really interesting if some of the people I've worked with end up becoming these big people? You know, I've been on so many sessions, and I'm like, wouldn't that be amazing? If people are musos, I'm not sure if they are. I've worked with some really big session players. So there's a guy called Pino Palladino, who's a really famous bass player, and his son is now like the next big thing. And I was on a session with him last year. So like, I'm always doing like really cool, exciting stuff, but it depends whether you've heard of them. Like,
yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing with session work, is you get thrown into crazy situations, and you just then it could be one of the most surreal moments of your life. You just don't know. As a session musician, I've done session work, and you just end up doing some absolutely crazy stuff. And some of it is just like, that's crazy. Some of it you go, what was that all about? So so it depends on what you're doing, where you are, but to get into those situations, what did you do? Was this through a label, or was it you're independent, or something like
that? It's so hard, and like a lot of like students and people I've spoken to over the past few years have said, how do these things happen? And sadly, like, I'm going to say it, it's kind of just like who I knew. Like the least expected person would like send me an email, are you free tomorrow? Like, can you do this thing or whatever? One thing, so this kind of like studio that I've worked with on the Spotify kind of covers we did, they've got me a lot of opportunities just because a lot of these big kind of people or agencies, if they're looking for specific people, will target studios or labels or that sort of thing. So a lot of work came from that. And kind of like this sounds terrible, doesn't it? Befriending the right people, whereby kind of not being friends with them for the sake of the work, but basically try and get a good network of people around you that, like, you know, I'll do the same thing for them. If something's not quite right for me, I'll be like, oh, do you want to go for this job instead? Or I don't really have like a specific answer of like, this is why this happened. It's just kind of being in the right place at the right time.
I think that's why Sam came up with the concept of the podcast, and it's just to build up a network in a lockdown situation where people might just chat to someone who might give them an opportunity, and that's what Sam was saying. Come on, have a chat. You don't know who's watching. You don't know that one person might just hear something. Oh, that's what I'm looking for, or something like that. So Sam was right when he set this concept up, because I think it's things like that will help us long term.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I've always been that sort of person that has, even if it seems like the smallest, like crappiest little gig, pretend it's the one for Elton John, because it is that thing of you don't know who's going to be there. I was lucky enough that, again, kind of about a year or so ago, I did this, what I thought was probably, I never put anything out there that I'm not happy with, but it wasn't one of the covers that I'd have been like, I love that, like, I'd love for that to blow up one day. I did a cover of a Justin Timberlake song, and Universal got in touch and put me on like they wanted to do like a compilation CD called like Acoustic Hits, I think it was called. Yeah. And there was like Ed Sheeran on there, like Rita Ora, like all these like big people, and I'm track 22 on the second CD. But I still put that on there.
Are you
Dude.
But it, like, it's really...
Yes. I think we give you a clap on that one.
Thank you very much. No one has a clue who I it. They're probably like, who's this Meg Birch among like Ed Sheeran and like Rita Ora? But I will take it. And it's really funny because whenever I stop at a service station, if I'm traveling, the only place that CD is still sold is in the service stations on like the M6.
I love stuff like that.
That's the CD.
I absolutely love stuff like that. And going back to your point,
that's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
You know, do every single opportunity, every gig, do it, because you just don't know who's there. That then leads to the record label, then leads to the, you know, it's funny how, like you were saying before, how fickle the industry is. It's actually quite small, especially for the people at the top. Everyone seems to know everyone at the elite level, and it's not what you know. Like you said, it's who you know, and I think that's, you know, a key thing, especially with you getting the work for obviously for Elton John, or well, James Corden, which is quite sad.
James Corden.
We love James Corden. We've got no beef with no one. Meg, do you want to go for song number 2 for us, please?
I can indeed. I'm going to do a bit of what's her name? Jess Glynn.
Oh yeah.
So I've changed my hair up recently. I normally have like a big kind of fringe, and everyone keeps saying that my hair looks like Jess Glynn, so I was like, I'll do a Jess Glynn song.
Fantastic.
That's the only reason I'm doing this song, plus I love it, so I'm going to do a bit of Rather Be.
Oh, cool song. Good song.
Cool. We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. Stay down on a mission to find our inner peace and make it everlasting, so nothing's incomplete. It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, key off to the lamb, strolling so casually. We're different than the same, get you another name, switch up the battery. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you can shake me. When I get with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I'm with you, there's no place I'd rather be. Be, and yeah. And the chance I'm taking is a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. I know it's only real hard. You can shake me when I am with you. There's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No place I'd rather be.
Way! Well done, fantastic.
I forgot how much of a sing that is. Living, eh? Nice one down.
Smashed it. I love the little tune in that song. The little repeated tune over it. It's just brilliant. It's just so catchy. Yeah, so it's ace.
I remember doing that with the Ripper Kids when that song first came out. That was awesome. I usually teach them on a Saturday, don't I? So I missed them all. Probably not watching. But there you go. 12.
They'll be in bed.
They'll definitely be in bed now.
Be in bed?
Yeah.
Poor kids.
Anyway.
It's not like London. It's not like London. It'll be we all go to bed early. London,
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Right then, Meg, you've actually sort of come on board with Sea Live, and then lockdown happened. Boom. Which is unfortunate. But what we did start with yourself, Danny. I can't pronounce the second one, so I'm not going to pronounce it. It's like Ludwitz.
Do you know what? I spoke to her about this. Lundqvist. Lundqvist.
I want to put on like the accent as well.
He will, if he's watching, he will hate me right now because he'll be like, Meg, I told you how to say this.
But you've joined his team. Well, you've created a team. A little duo that you're going to be promoting through Sea Live, and we're going to put you into the restaurants. We've actually had conversations with restaurants that we're going to literally put you in there, and then this lockdown happened. So, sorry.
It's just my luck, isn't it?
So, well, what about from our point of view? All those weddings of, just being cancelled and postponed, but when this is all over, hopefully things will settle back down, and we can promote and push you as a solo artist, and also yourself and Danny and any other opportunities that you may have. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you about particularly is the corporate scene. I mean, you've done a plethora of performance jobs, including the likes of Goldman Sachs, Selfridges. Is there a particular gig or an experience that you've done that stands out as being the best for you personally?
As a corporate gig or just any gig?
Just in general. I mean, you touched upon what would have been probably the best one in Elton John. But if you were saying about Mel C, if you could tell a little bit more about Mel C and what kind of that was all about.
Yeah, the Mel C one, it was actually dead chilled. It was just a really small, intimate gig she was doing for like a charity event in London. So that it was exciting. It was really nice doing that. But I think the one moment and like the highlight of my career so far was singing for Demi Lovato. Like we did 2 songs for the MTV Awards at Wembley, and it was insane. It was like you saw. I don't know if any of the viewers have watched like a live like something happening live. You see all these cameras whizzing around and like you have these runners literally going like 3, 2, 1, okay, walk, and you have no time to hesitate. You've got to be there.
Yeah.
Wow. And for you, I think we might have lost Meg. I think we might have lost Chris.
Someone's found it. Imam's found it. Imam's found it.
Another.
When did you sing with Demi Lovato?
Yeah, it's
What is
that
up
time.
with
I
your
swear.
mum? I'll be honest, there's been technical difficulties, and I can't even say the word difficulties, but I know our Virgin Media in this area has been down. My Mac, literally the camera on the Mac, literally just decided not to work when I started the run-up half an hour ago. It's just this...
So this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Live, sort of streaming, TV, whatever. It's all live stuff. It happens.
It's so annoying.
So what happened with the Demi Lovato? What happened with the Demi Lovato? You did the MTV Awards.
So the reason why I say that was the best gig, I literally had to tell myself to hold it together. I was so overwhelmed by the atmosphere and by the fact that I was doing what I was doing that I was literally like, how any sound came out of my mouth, I have no idea, because I was choking back the tears. I was like, I really hope the camera doesn't come on me right now, because I'm like, ugh. I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, how am I in this situation right now? This is like crazy.
Do I dare to say, were you a Camp Rock kid?
Oh no, I wasn't.
Okay, fair enough.
Sadly,
Fair enough.
I was just a fan of her anyway, because she's like insane at singing, and I've always watched like videos of her. But no, I actually wasn't. But I was fangirling.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We are actually coming to the end of the podcast. If you want to give us one more song, I think we'll leave it there, Chris. I think everything's been...
Can I ask one more question?
Chris.
As a singer, and you've so far in your young career, you've done some amazing things. And Sam teaches music, I teach guitar, you teach singing. Is there any advice for any sort of younger, aspiring singer who are watching now thinking, do you know what? What advice would you say to a young singer now to try and get to the ambitions of where you got so far? What would you say to them?
I would say be authentic. Don't lose heart of who you are, or get too wrapped up in what's cool or what's the right thing, what people are saying is the right thing to do. Do you? I would say you're going to have to work flipping hard, and there is a lot of rejection. So don't take it personally. And I would say, most importantly, just enjoy it, because it's a hard career, and if you can't smile through it, what's the point?
Fantastic. That's great.
Absolutely love that.
And you can see that because we work with you now, and we know how driven you are, and it is a pleasure to have you on board. And we know that when this is going to finish, we're going to have some fantastic gigs and some brilliant shows. That's most important now.
Fantastic. Well, Meg, while you're setting up, I just want to remind the listeners and the viewers at home to go and follow our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at @CLive. It's so important that you share, like and comment, just so our statistics go up and up and up and up, so more people can see us. On Twitter, it's @CLive Enter Taiwan, and also on Instagram, it's @CLive UK. You can see all of our artists and also all of the videos on our Instagram as well. It's really, really good. Follow me on Instagram, Sam LMA Choir, repping. I might as well. And of course, Meg, you can do your selfish plug as well.
Yeah, Meg Birch on every platform: Facebook, Spotify, Instagram. Come to Instagram because that's where most things are happening during this
You've probably got
lockdown.
over
So
like 900 videos on your YouTube as well, which is fantastic as well.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Unless it might be.
One less than
They're
Sam.
not on my channel, but they are on
It might-
YouTube. That's actually what I work for. They just keep posting them out.
There's
It's great.
loads. There's absolutely loads. So make sure you go and follow all them social medias.
Yeah.
Follow Chris Varnes.
Yeah.
He's not even looking.
Please do.
Fantastic. Right.
Please do.
Take it away, Meg. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
Well,
Meg. Great to have you.
No worries. This is a bit of Alicia Keys. Yeah. Some people live for fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power. Yeah. Some live just to play the game. Some people think that the physical things define what's within. That before that life's so superficial. Some people want it all, but I don't want it all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Yeah. Some people search for the fountain, the promises forever young. Some people need 3,000 miles, and it's the only way to prove you love it. You're still once you said no one truly cares. Some people want it all, but I don't want none of it all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want some things, some just want everything. Everything is nothing. I ain't got you. Some people want it all, but with thank you. I got you, baby. No, whoa, if I got you, baby. If I got you. If I got you.